Hello guys, it's been a while again since you've seen this face in this garage, but now it's finally time to make some content again, so looking forward to that. And just to give you a small update, the purple wagon 124 is sold, which used to be here, and also the BMW Drifter project has been tested and sold. So my dad actually got some of these old Fiat 128 models, which he is fixing right now and making a summer car for him. So that one will be in the background here for a while now. And what I have been doing lately, I just finished this project, original Honda Monkey from 89 year model. And it is totally made in original condition. Every part on this is now made in Japan, and this is now museum registered and will be placed in a good storage just for show. And I will keep it like this and probably not drive it that much, but these seem to go well on prices now, what I have seen on the internet. So I will keep this one. I have a couple of more of them right there, but this is the best one I have ever owned. So I have just finished this project. I still have the Volvo and the white 190, but all my other projects has been sold now. So another project is coming in a couple of months, but first I will present you this one. This is a 123 model with a 3-liter 5-cylinder engine, which came in these original, and these are called OM617, and this has automatic gearbox, 4-speed I think. The engine runs well, gearbox should run well, at least about 10 years ago it did. I have not tried it so much because I will swap in another engine in this project. And those of you guys who know me might guess which type of engine is going in here. I have built one of these before. It was a station wagon model, and I built that one with the OM606 engine and a manual gearbox, and this will also have that type of engine, but a 6-speed gearbox from a CDI engine. This is bolt-on and has the same type of gear selector like the BMW boxes. I have used one of these before, and these seem to hold up power pretty well. So I will be using this gearbox in this project. And here I have the engine, which is going to be put inside. It will of course get a Dieselmeken pump and probably a Kangaroo's exhaust manifold. I have not been in contact with them yet, but I think I will order one of those and then find some good turbo to fit to it. Just will prep the same stuff which I always do to these engines, and hopefully this will work well. I ordered this from a car scrapyard from Spain actually, or Portugal, I don't remember where it came from, but it had 1 year warranty, but that has passed already, so I hope it works. But they usually do, they are usually tested that they work, so looking good so far, at least. Has taken the glow plugs out, first thing I did, because that is the common problem on these. So, and the car has a quite unique history because it has been on the Finnish roads since 1995, same year I was born. And it was taken from Germany to Finland, but it was swapped. The chassis was swapped from a Finnish car, or I don't really know about that, but at least the VIN number was changed. So they put a Finnish VIN number on this one, and then they registered it like it was a 300 diesel with Finnish parts and everything. So the chassis had like 46% of changed parts, and you can't have more than 50, so you can drive them on Finnish roads. So it is like good to drive like that now if you want, but you can't swap an engine in it anymore because the percents are too high. So I will now scrap the Finnish VIN number and take back the German VIN number, which was original in this car, and pay taxes and everything on that and make it like it should be. That is something that they did in the 90s here in Finland to avoid taxes when taking a car from another country. So especially wagon models of these are usually VIN number swapped here in Finland. So it's very hard to find a wagon model which you can make an engine swap and do something like that. I have had one of those before, but I just drove it for one winter and then sold it. I think someone still has it and drives it. I have not seen it in many years, but I think it's still on the roads. And this one has the blue half leather interior from original, but the front seats has been swapped to black ones, and the steering wheel also has been swapped, but I have the original one, which I'm not gonna use. It has very good chassis, not so much rust. One small hole here under the trunk, which I have found, probably will find more later, but not that much, just something like this. And this might be the worst part on the whole car, so not that bad at all. I will start now with removing the engine and then starting to fit the 606. You can't find any engine mounts which fits bolt-on with a 6-cylinder engine. Or they came with some 6-cylinder engine from original these models, but I don't think those mounts fit to a 606. So I will make some custom mounts anyway, so let's see what happens next. And always when you start a new project, you need another spare parts car. So I picked up this yesterday. It's an already started project which has been put on hold. My good friend Sander sold it to me. He started this project about 10 years ago and found something more interesting to do, so this was never finished. But the chassis is really good, not that much rust. The engine bay has already been painted and such stuff, so I think this will be sold after I have taken all the parts I need from it. Got a bunch of suspension stuff, everything original from this car, and some bonus stuff also. And this was the main reason why I got it. It had the black half leather interior, which is in really good condition actually. Just some dust from the storage blowed most of the stuff, old dust with compressed air yesterday before taking it inside, so could have a good look at everything. Everything should be intact. Only some couple of screws here in the dashboard, but not that much more. The front panels need to put some kind of washer here to fix the hole for the window manual window lifters, because the car I'm building has electronic windows and also electronic sunroof, which works. But this will now be put in storage here until I can start putting in some new stuff. Here is all the rest. cable harness from the donor car and the manual clutch pedal and brake pedal, which I needed for my own project. Bumpers and lights and all the trim pieces are all intact, so good to have some spares when building an old car like this. The best part about the spare donor car was that all this front suspension stuff has already been sandblasted and painted and installed with some new bushings and brake discs. Just has been lying in storage, so a little rust on them, but this saves a lot of hours for me. And also the front brake calipers has been refurbished just like I used to do them. And this was the main reason why I bought this car, because Sander already bought this bolt-on coilover kit for the 123 model. This is the rear shock. It has the adjustable damping on all the shocks, just like the yellow speed racing I have been using, but I have not seen any other bolt-on coilovers for the 123 model. These are pretty massive adjuster threads which goes under the rear springs, and then the damper comes through here. So this needs to be pretty big to fit the shock. And this is all street legal and ready to use. So now I have both front and rear axles out, all the undercarriage taken out, no big surprises there. Now I have stripped all the bushings and stuff out of these parts, which are now going to Nymans Gräv for sandblasting and painting. I have to make a special tool to remove the wheel bearings out of these rear arms. There is a special nut which holds the bearings in. I can show them. When I get the new ones, the old ones looked so bad, so I didn't even film that. But also took the bushings out to make some plastic bushings, because there I have not found any polyurethane bushings for these models, so I will be making some own plastic ones for the rear arms and here also for the subframe mounts. I will make some plastic bushings. So I just took the interior out of this car, and the main reason I bought this was because I didn't see any rust under the car. The only stuff I found was here on the front fender and the rear fender. But then when I took the seats out, I felt that the floor was a little bit softer than it should be. So I got some more work to do. I think I haven't found all of it yet, but there is extremely amounts of rust here. I can't believe how it can be like this, because I didn't see anything under the car. This underbody coating is so thick, so it's like capsules in the rust in between the underbody coating and this like hard protection inside. So when the water comes in on the floor, it never can drain out somewhere and just lays here and rots the steel. So finally, 3 days later, just had to cut this out and put some new steel in. Still looks like shit here, but need to clean everything up and put some protection on. Just have to fix these small holes here. Here is one, and here, and here, and these. Then it should be, if I don't find any more hiding spots, but I will not touch it more than that. And I also bought a couple of new fenders, so I can cut these pieces out. That one is pretty bad. But this one, I can cut this just here under the clips, so I don't have to paint this part, because I will try to keep it with this color without painting the car now, when I'm only gonna use it in the winter time. So finally, 23 holes later, we have a solid Mercedes. This was the last one, and also the trickiest one I made. Had to remove the handbrake pedal, or parking brake pedal, and all the electric stuff to the engine bay, all the cables and stuff. A lot of spots in the floor and 2 spots here in the trunk, both sides. So now we are back on the first spot that I wished I would have to start from. And before we continue, I was out of welding gas a couple of days ago, so I tested these window lifters, and all 4 of them came down, but the window stayed up. This one has electric windows in the front doors, but manually operated ones in the rear. But all of them just dropped the mechanism, but the window didn't come down. So I had to make these holders or clamps, or whatever you call them, which holds the window in the lifter. And they are pretty similar like this from stock. I already threw them away, and they were all totally rusted out. Like this is like a ditch where the window goes down, and then there's a rubber in between, and then this part is like clamped, so it holds the window in place. But half of it was rusted away, because all the water goes down in this, and then they rust to nothing. I had to make them completely new. Just these ears could be used from the original ones. And I'm gonna glue the rubber inside these, and then the window glued to the rubber. So I will not clamp these. It's so hard to do it inside the door. So I will just glue them, and hopefully these are now painted with 2-layer rust protection paint. So hopefully they will last for at least as long as the original ones. So now I think it's time to wrap this episode up. I'm going to start painting this chassis everywhere where I have welded some new pieces in, protect everything from rust, spray some underbody coating, and paint the engine bay on all the bold spots. And before I leave you for this time, I can show some parts I have got. I found 2 different limited slip differentials, which are bolt-on rear subframe. These are from some V8 models, some S-class Mercedes from the 70s and 80s, I think. This one came from eBay, found it on the German eBay, so I ordered it. And that one I got a message from a Instagram follower who had found it. I asked for these types of differentials on my Instagram. So he sent me a message and told me that he found this one in the Netherlands for sale. So I ordered that one for the next project I will be doing after this. But I will use this 327 ratio differential in this build because that ratio works very great with the 6-speed manual gearbox. So that was a really nice find. I think those are pretty rare, but I found these two and didn't find any more of them, so please don't ask if I found any more of them because I didn't. And here is some more parts I have bought, still waiting for some parts which hasn't arrived yet, but here's a big rear muffler I will be putting on the end of the exhaust, 3-inch straight through, and a big intercooler and a high flow fuel pump. All these are from Biltema, not sponsored yet. And air filter, which I'm using in every build, works great. Fuel pressure regulator, just a Chinese one, but I have used these types in many builds and not a single one has failed yet, so I will be using them until I find some wrong with them. Boost gauge, which goes to 3 bars, and this same plate which I have used on other 606 engines to block off the preheater. Nice design by Marcus Nordahl in Sweden. I do not make these to sell, someone wonders. New brake shields for the rear, both sides. Intake gasket, exhaust gasket, rear bearing kits, both sides. New front blinkers, parking brake cables. These I got a good tip from my friend Petri Sumilov, which drives a 123 sedan with 2JC engine. I don't remember exactly how much power he has, but plenty of it. And he uses these and has only broke one, which I think broke right here. And he has driven really hard with that car, what I have seen at least. He told me that he uses these brand new drive shafts. The good thing with these also is that this piece, which goes in the differential, can be removed with these bolts. On the original diff, you can't take the drive shaft out without taking the rear cover of the differential, because there are some sockets or sprints or whatever you call them here holding this part in. But with these now you can leave this part on the diff and just bolt the drive shaft off. So that's pretty nice and not expensive either. I think they was under 70 euros a piece. New thermostat, 75 degree. New water pump with the steel propeller wheel. Don't buy the plastic ones, they break. Wall cover gaskets, Scania engine mounts, which I have used in almost every other build. New rear brake discs, already got the front ones. Parking brake, mounting stuff, parking brake, brake pads, master cylinder for the clutch. The last missing brake hose, I have 2 new for the front and 1 new for the back, so I just had to buy 1 more. These anti-roll bar mounts for the rear, the belt pulley and tensioner, all these has to be replaced on a 606 to keep them silent. New belt, of course, new oil filter, diesel filter, rear brake pads, all the stuff for the rear calipers. New pistons and all the gaskets and hardware. Brake stuff I had in the strip all bath. This is real. I have had the bath now for maybe 4 or almost 5 years, I think. And it still works great. to take all. This was really nasty when I put them in. They don't look like new now, but if I put them one more round, I think I will get them all like this gray color, but no need for that. I think I'm gonna just blast them a little in the glass blaster and paint them. Here is now 4 calipers. I will only use the best halves for my and keep the others in spare. The rear hubs and some other hardware, and the rear diff mount. I will try to strengthen these a little bit to make them more stiffer. Also, one thing you can do with the strip ball is put rubber stuff, because it cleans it really good and don't make the rubber any worse in any way. Almost make them like softer and nicer again. Those are the strips which goes in these new window lifters I built. A whole set turbo HX40 Super, which I got from an Instagram follower, used, just tested a little bit, so it's like brand new. It has the 16 exhaust housing and internal wastegate, which I'm going to test with it first how it works, but I don't really like how they work on these high power engines, so I think I will delete it later and use an external wastegate. On the Kangaroo's manifold, which they were kind enough to sponsor me, and it has not arrived yet, but I think they have shipped it out, so it's on the way. And also I have sent a 603 pump to Dieselmeken for rebuilding with 8mm elements, which will be going inside this. And also the valve springs from Kokkolan Moottorihiomo. I have ordered those also for this engine, so I can rev it up to high RPM without worrying about the valve springs. This engine, I will clean it up and take the sump of it and the wall cover, of course, and do all the same stuff which I usually do to these. But I think that was everything for this episode. We'll start painting the floor panels now, just have to clean it a little bit and sometime finally, hopefully, put some parts back in. So, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time also. Bye.